Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Sun's out, I think. Kind of? Yeah, good. Trying. Thank you to our guest musician, Cassie Norton, for our gathering, grounding music. Welcome to our Neighbourhood Unitarian Universalist congregation Sunday service. Thank you for joining us, whether you are here in person, if you are out there in Zoom land, hello, or if you are watching from a future time on the recording. If you're joining us for the first time, you're welcome here, as is everyone who is seeking a spiritual community. Our mission at Neighbourhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of our world. My name is Moira MacDonald. I'm a member here at Neighbourhood, and I'm going to be your service weaver this morning. Our minister, Reverend Sally Fritchie, is having a day off. She gets those once in a while. For those of us here in person, please remember to be aware of the various needs and the boundaries of one another while we are gathered together. We have our mask-required seating area here, so to respect that. And we also like to keep our aisles clear for mobility devices, and I know our setup is a little bit different than usual because we're having a different kind of a service than usual. And only take photos of other people with permission. We are a community of many ages and abilities, which means we embrace whatever little noises or sometimes big noises or distractions come with being together. And we are committed to a love that makes space for all. If you have a phone or another device that can be silenced, I invite you to do that now. I actually had that planned. No, I didn't. But that was perfect. But you may need your phone in order to access and participate in the service. If that's the case, please do so. Take care of yourself. Please know that our services are usually about 90 minutes long, so if there's anything that you need to make yourself comfortable in the space for that period of time, whether that's sitting, standing, stretching, pacing, fidgeting, getting a glass of water, I think I've done all of those things, feel free to do so at any point. And that includes going into our wiggle room, which is at the back. The lights are off, but hopefully the door is open. Yes, Kat will open it, thank you. There's toys in there, there's a comfy couch, and we also have the activity table that Kat and friends are at. They're looking so friendly. And we have art supplies and a kinetic sandbox. And all ages are welcome at that table. If you're new and you would like to keep in touch, please fill out the newcomer card, which I have right here, the newcomer card. And you can put your contact information into that. You can leave that in the offering plate when that gets passed around later. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your relationship to belief, to spirituality, or this community, we are glad you are with us today. So now we come to a time called Greet Your Neighbors, and so once you get started greeting your neighbors in this space, after you've done that, don't forget our Zoomland friends out there. Greet them, wave at the camera. Your cue for the end of the greeting is going to be me singing. And if you recognize the song, please feel free to join along, but that will be the time to then go back to your seat. We'll have coffee time later and you can continue your conversation. So now, please take a moment to greet the neighbors around you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Thank you. Thanks for joining in the singing. I'd like to acknowledge that I am on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, that this land has been traditional territory of the Wendat and the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and that it has been and continues to be home more recently to other First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. As a descendant of European settlers who were uninvited by First Peoples, I recognize my responsibility to treat the land with care, to keep learning what it means to hold treaty, which we do here, and to do what I can to foster a respectful relationship with First Peoples grounded in our shared humanity and in my Unitarian Universalist principles. Please join me in reading our invocation, which will be projected on the screen. Let us cast the circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast the circle of a cherished space here, a space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life, a life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. And this morning, the chalice will be lit by David Zalakar. To light the chalice, David's going to take the flame from the children's chalice as a reminder that children are a vital part of our community, that they are our future, and that we at Neighbourhood have a collective responsibility to hear and support them in their own spiritual journeys. And we will sing our chalice lighting song. We light this chalice to remember. And I invite Cassie for our centering music called Alive.
Old dance swing o'er the windy shore. How did your giant roots take hold in this tiny space between the rocks? A needlework beyond human thought, spilling out over weathered stone, almost impossibly overgrown. Alive, don't pass me by, oh life, don't pass me by. Alive, don't pass me by, oh life, in the blink of an eye. Rain pours down at daybreak, forming 1,000 tiny lakes in crevices on the rocky shore, each waiting to be something more. Mud collects, the frogs come and play, grasses catch spores as they bend and sway. Alive, don't pass me by, oh life, don't pass me by. Alive, don't pass me by, Massa's move in and welcome guests. The mice and chipmunks take a rest, bringing with them pine cone snacks, leaving seeds in tiny cracks. Mushrooms sprout up with the rain, and seedlings out of their decay. Alive, don't pass me by, oh life, don't pass me by. Alive, don't pass me by, oh life, in the blink of an eye. The first trees they never take, but new sprouts grow in their wake, laying down the nutrients for all the future residents. Under and over, between earth and stone, a patchwork quilt these roots have sown. Alive, don't pass me by, oh life, don't pass me by. Alive, don't pass me by, oh life, in the blink of an eye.
I think I'm in a different place than I was 5 minutes ago. Thank you, Cassie. Cassie is helping Neighbourhood out this month, actually, while our music director, Suzanne Mazars, is on sabbatical. We sent her on her way for her sabbatical last week. So Cassie is leading our choir, our spirit choir, and she's here today too, of course, to share her many musical gifts. So thank you, Cassie, for being with us. Our theme this month is our seventh principle, and that is respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. Now, I don't know about you, but the experience of being taken along for the ride by the crew of NASA's Artemis II mission to the moon recently and back was a spiritual one for me, especially the views looking back at our beloved planet from outer space. This is one of the images that the crew took. I can't think of a finer piece of art than that. There we were, that big blue marble, this big blue marble, that's us, suspended in the universe, a place so different from anything else. Most of the time, in my daily doings, perhaps like many of you, I forget the specialness of where I am. I take for granted this existence. And I sometimes wallow in the illusion of our separateness as dwellers on this planet. But those views from Artemis II and the astronauts' cameras, which allowed us to look at ourselves on the grandest of scales, proclaimed, at least to me, the miraculousness of this planet Earth and its preciousness. I thought, I don't know how anyone could see that and not be moved to do everything we can to look after our beautiful home and everything on it, like now, right now. But gravity is a thing, apparently. So it kind of forces us down here, stay down here, and reckon with the very real messiness of living on terra firma together. The view from 160,000 kilometers away just can't capture those challenges, or the very real catastrophes that erupt because of our human feelings. Yet reckon we must. So today, neighborhood member Natalie Zend is going to be speaking about one of those catastrophes related to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, whose 40th anniversary is coming up 1 week from today, on April 26. And she'll talk about the Elm Dance, adopted as a practice to help people grieve that tragedy, to heal, but also to set intention for change. Now, because of the time it's going to take for us to do the dance, and if any of you hear the word dance and you immediately seize up, just think of it as walking with music. Take a breath, it's okay. Now, with the dance, because of the time it's going to take, we're not going to do joys and concerns in the way that we usually do, but Natalie will explain more about what we're going to do with all of that. But the joys and concerns that you all know and love will definitely be here next week. So come back if you want to light a candle. Last week, we heard the choir sing about hoping with our hands and praying with our feet. And it seems to me that dancing, and this dance that we're going to do today, can be a metaphor and a practice of that very thing. So here are the words that the choir sang, composed by Zoe Toby, which he said are based on the Jewish practice of tikkun olam, the repair of the world. This ground below us is holy, holy. This air that breathes us is holy, holy. So we're going to hope with our hands and pray with our feet for the world that we love, for the world that we need. May it be so. And I invite Cassie for another song. Earth is our home.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the slide of the earth would be such a good precursor and that little talk to this song. I didn't think about it when we were putting it together. Is the mic on? Or you have to get right close? Okay. All right. So I want to. This is sort of a very participatory song. The chorus, I think you can sing along once you get it, but there's this part that goes. No one owns the earth, our home. So no one owns the earth, our home. So we're going to say that a little bit together. We'll sing it together. Let's keep that going, and then there's a bit of a higher part too, and I'll just bring that in, and you can sing whatever you like. So, no one owns the earth, our home. No one owns the earth, our home. Yeah, so that's gonna get going, and I will bring those parts in every time they happen. And when they come in, you can keep singing them, because I'm gonna be singing a verse on top of it. So that won't be interrupting. That'll be beautiful. Okay.
We're not
protect the coast from the storms at sea. Up in the sky, the birds spread seeds that grow into the trees we need to breathe. We're not alone. We share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. We're not alone. We share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. No one owns the earth, our home. No one owns the earth, our home. Species has everything it does we need, but we don't know because the web is wide. When you look inside, the connection's hidden to the eye. Our home has never been anyone's to own. We're not alone. We share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. We're not alone. We share our home with all the animals, the plants, and the trees. We need them all, from big to small, to fill our skies, our land, and our seas. The earth, it is our home, but it's never been anyone's to own. Yay, thank you.
Thanks, Cassie. And now I'm going to invite Kat for our Time for All Ages. That's right.
All right, hello everyone. Good morning. That was beautiful, Cassie. Thank you so much. So we are going to do a meditative activity because we are not going to be doing a meditation later on in the service. And I thought it would be a great idea to include the children and the youth in a meditation because we don't usually include them in this practice. So I invite you to close your eyes for this activity if you feel comfortable and able to do so, to fully engage with the body and breath of the breathing tree. This meditation is called the breathing tree. We're going to begin to visualize yourself entering a forest. There's no right, there's no wrong way for the forest to appear. Let it form naturally around you. Take a few moments to arrive to this forest. Notice the environment with your senses. What do you smell in the air? Perhaps damp earth, pine, or something green and alive. What sounds reach you? The rustling of the leaves, the distant birds, the soft shifting of branches, or even silence. What do you see? Light filtering through the canopy, patterns of shadow and gold across the ground, layers of green stretching in every direction. Now feel the air on your skin, cool, warm, still, or gently moving. Notice the ground beneath you, soft moss, fallen leaves, packed soil. Let yourself fully settle here. There's no rush. Now gently bring your attention to your body. Notice that you're here, existing, breathing. Begin to connect with your breath. Follow each inhalation as it enters your body, and each exhalation as it leaves. No need to change anything. Just notice. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, in your own time, begin to approach one of the trees. Sit or stand before it. Take a moment to really see this tree with your mind's eye. What does the trunk look like? Is it wide, slender, textured? Is it worn? What is the bark like? Rough, smooth, cracked? Notice the branches reaching outward, upward. Look at the leaves. Are they moving? Let yourself feel the presence of this tree. Steady, rooted, alive. Now bring your awareness back to your breath and begin to notice the relationship between you and this tree. As you exhale, imagine offering your breath to the tree. Carbon dioxide, a quiet gift. As you inhale, receive the oxygen the tree releases, its gift to you. You breathe out, the tree receives what it needs for its life. The tree breathes out, and you receive what you need for yours. A gentle, continuous exchange, without effort, without striving. You are breathing the tree's breath and the breath of all trees, all that is quietly sustaining life around you. Let yourself rest in this awareness. Feel the reciprocity, the mutual giving and receiving. Just be here, breathing and connected. And when you feel ready, begin to gently shift your awareness back to your surroundings. Offer a quiet thank you to the tree for this moment, this exchange, this vision for a better life. Slowly bring your attention back to your body, to your breath, to the space you're physically in. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes, returning here, grounded, present, and connected. Thank you for taking part in the practice of honoring the quiet connection between yourself and the living world. Let us remember to always honor and take care of Mother Earth. Thank you. And that is the end of our meditation. I hope that was healing, and we took a couple moments to just bring ourselves to feel ourselves into the moment, feel our breath, our connection to the earth and the world, and remember again that we belong to this world, we belong to each other, but we belong to ourselves as well, and we must take care of one another. So thank you.
And now I think we'll have the children off to the Rainbow Room, and we're going to sing them out with our children's recessional. Blum, plum, plum. Children grow in the spirit. Children grow in the spirit. Grow in the Spirit, children. Grow in the Spirit, children. Grow in the Spirit, grow in the Spirit, grow in the Spirit, children. And while David's moving some apparatus here, we will have Cassie come up for another song, White Sand.
At the top of the earth, at the end of the road, there's a sand that is worth more than gold. It burns through to the bone, leaving only stone, a sand that is worth more than gold. A power we've not seen before, a war that could end all the wars. From the shores of Great Bear Lake, they take and they take a power we've not seen before. This power not meant for human hands. These rocks turn to fine white sand. From El Dorado to Port Hope, Ontario, a power not meant for human hands. 2 summer days in 1945, over 200,000 lives melted whole. Do not forget this toll. 2 days in 1945. We bury it deep, deep within the ground. 2 million years till it calms down. Oh, our children will pay for all of our waste. We bury it deep in the ground. The eagle flies high in the sky. Over the lake a loon cries. Leave these shores alone, this power unowned. The eagle flies high in the sky. Keep this power deep, deep within the stone. The light that shines through to the bone. It'll swallow you all, exposing your soul. Keep this power deep in the stone.
Hands. That is the most fitting line for the story that I'm about to tell. Thank you, Cassie. If you remember where you were when you learned of the Chernobyl power plant disaster, raise your hand. Some of us do. I was 13 and I remember it very clearly. It was April 26th, 1986. As Moira mentioned, in exactly a week, it will be the 40th anniversary of what at that time was, and still is, the worst nuclear disaster in history. When technicians at Chernobyl power plant in Ukraine were doing an experimental shutdown of the reactor, it melted down, part of it exploded, and the core caught fire, and it sent radioactive material into a plume that began to blow over Europe. And then the winds changed, and it started to go back east, and it was headed toward Moscow, a city of, at that time, 8 million people. And so the Soviet government made a snap decision and decided to seed those toxic clouds so that they would precipitate before reaching that capital city. And so those toxic rains fell on the region of Bryansk, on towns and fields and forests. And that was just the heaviest toxicity fell onto a town of about 50,000 called Novozibkov, just on the Russian side of the border. And the people of Novozibkov were not informed. In fact, the Soviet government kept the Chernobyl disaster a secret from the whole world for several days. And so the children of Novozibkov went out to play in that thick rain because it was white, it looked like snow, and nobody told them that what was falling down on them could kill them or cause long-term health impacts. And the people, and so in effect, they were sacrificed to save the Muscovites. They were treated as disposable. And in the years that followed, and right up until today, people there experience cancers, radiation sickness, heart issues. Children have been born with deformities and developmental delays. About 80% of the children now suffer from chronic diseases. And most of them also have what they pretty vaguely call neuropsychological disorders. And what's more, the exclusion zone, which is so radioactive that they are prohibited from entering it, begins just 1 kilometer from their city limits. So there have been cultural effects as well because they considered themselves people of the forest. And before the accident, every holiday, every weekend, they would be in the forest picnicking, walking, picking mushrooms. And they can no longer return there. Not in their lifetimes, not in their children's lifetimes, not in their children's children's lifetimes. Because this disaster is not in the past. The local food is as radioactive today as it was in 1986. So every time they're eating their own food, they're taking that in. And some of the most toxic contaminants will stay deadly for 240,000 years. I want that to sink in. There has been human civilization for 5 to 10,000 years. This is 240,000 years. So, and the other thing is that because of climate change, now, just as here, the forests are burning. And when the trees burn, the radiation that they absorbed gets released back into the atmosphere. And that's the air that they're breathing today. And so the people of Novozibkov continue to be affected by this still unfolding disaster. And they will be for as long as we can imagine. And the reactor itself requires constant tending for as long as we can imagine as well to prevent another catastrophe. So that's the story of Novozibkov. And now you may be wondering, well, where does the Elm Dance come in? Because in a few minutes, I'm going to invite us all to dance the Elm Dance together in solidarity with the people of Novozibkov. The outside world prefers to think that Chernobyl is over, and our governments continue to build more nuclear reactors. So we dance the Elm Dance so that the suffering of the people of Novozibkov is not forgotten. And as we do that, we join a tradition that has been alive around the world now for 34 years. So I want to tell you the story of that Elm Dance tradition. It began in 1992 with a beautiful human named Joanna Macy. She was the US-based root teacher in the Work That Reconnects, also known as Active Hope. And some of you may know this work, may be involved in sharing it, because I had the good fortune of spending 40 days in total learning from Joanna, and I and others have brought this work to Neighbourhood. And it's a body of work that invites us to turn our inner responses to the state of the world into empowerment to care for our world. That's our mission here at Neighbourhood. Joanna died last July 19th, and so I want to dedicate our Elm Dance today to her memory. And so the story goes that Joanna was traveling with her husband Fran, offering workshops to support people living in areas that had been contaminated by Chernobyl 6 years before. And their aim was not to take away the suffering of the people, because Joanna said, well, that would be presumptuous on our part. But she said, these are her words, what we can do, she said, is look together at two main ways that we respond to collective suffering. She said, suffering can bring forth from people new strengths and solidarity, or it can breed isolation and conflict, turning them against one another. She says there is always a choice. I put those words up. I think they're so important, and because they're so relevant to us today, where many of us around the world are turning against one another as conditions on the planet worsen. And after Chernobyl, people also did turn against one another, and there was conflict in families and within communities. And so Joanna and Fran were giving workshops together across the region with their Russian friends to support people to come together and be with the suffering, face together what had befallen them. And the others on Joanna's team spoke Russian, but Joanna had to work through interpreters. So she brought the Elm Dance as a way that she could share something without words. And they toured those Chernobyl-affected areas, and as they did so, the last town that they came to was Novozibkov. It was the one where people had been most impacted by the radiation. They had been sacrificed by their government without their knowledge. And there too, Joanna danced the Elm Dance with them, and they loved it so much that they danced it not just once, but twice a day. And it was there that the dance morphed into its current form with the swaying of the arms, like the swaying of the trees in the forest that they loved so much but could no longer enter. And by the end of the 3-day workshop, Joanna had fallen in love with the people of Novozibkov. She was deeply touched by their story, moved by their plight, and especially by how they felt forgotten by the world. And so she made a promise to them that wherever she went, she would tell their story. And so she started to do that. Whenever she taught or gave workshops, she would bring their story by dancing the Elm Dance. And what I should say is that I danced the Elm Dance with Joanna maybe 40 times, and it's my first time sharing it with others. What Joanna maybe couldn't have predicted was how the practice really took off and took a life of its own. And people started making copies of the cassette at that time and sharing it, not only in workshops, but in protests and direct actions. They would encircle bulldozers to stop them from taking down trees. It was embraced by people in the post-Soviet countries and by Aboriginal Australian Aborigines alike. And there are other Unitarian Universalist congregations that have adopted it as a practice. So today, when we dance the Elm Dance together, we'll be holding the hands not only of each other in the circle, but also of Igor, Olga of Novozibkov, and also of all of those for the last 34 years, the activists and lovers of life who have danced the dance and maybe are dancing it somewhere on the planet today. The music that we'll dance to is, it was released in 1989, and it was a popular song in Latvia. In the late 80s and 90s. It was originally a song of the cultural resistance movement against Soviet occupation. So it's a song for liberation and interdependence, and apparently it has a lot of double meanings and hidden meanings. I haven't put the lyrics up, but if you want a translation, the link is there, or you can come and ask me. The lyrics are by Maris Melgalvs, the music by Yuris Kulikovs, the vocals by Yeva Akuratere. I don't speak Latvian, so sorry if I'm mispronouncing. The song itself is not about elms. It actually mentions oak trees. But we call it the Elm Dance because the original dance was choreographed to that music by a Latvian-German woman named Anastasia Gang. And she created 38 dances that correspond to the Bach flower remedies. Some of you may know those. They were developed by an English doctor, Edward Bach, when he was able to cure himself of terminal spleen cancer through flower essences. And of the 38 dances, the Elm Dance, according to the Bach Center, is, I quote, the remedy for people suffering a temporary loss of confidence due to the overwhelming amount of responsibility they have taken on. I can relate to that. The remedy helps to dispel these feelings so we can resume our lives without thought of failure. And so in Joanna's words, the Elm Dance is for gathering intention. It's to strengthen our capacity to choose a purpose and to follow through on that resolve that our hearts have made. It's a simple dance. If you can walk, you can dance. And for those who do not want to be on the feet, on your feet, we have options. So I'm going to teach it. Moira and I will demonstrate it. We'll all try it without the music, and then we'll dance 3 rounds. And the 3 rounds, first we'll do it in silence. If I can have that slide, Carlos. The first one will be in silence, and that will be an opportunity really to arrive, to land in the movements, in the music, to feel our connection, to feel whatever feelings come up, and all feelings are welcome here. Then there'll be a pause, and I'll state this invitation, so you don't have to remember it, but I'll invite you throughout the second round to call out loud with your voices, or you can also do it inside. Call by name those parts of our world, beings, places, institutions that you're concerned about and for which you desire protection and healing. And then there'll be a pause, And the third round will be for naming out loud our joys, the things that bring us gladness and gratitude for being alive on Earth. And so you can see that it's a bit of a joys and concerns for those of you who cherish that practice. We'll be doing it differently. When Joanna did it, she would do the 2 first rounds, but I didn't invent the 3 rounds. Other facilitators of the work do have it exactly like this. So we'll be doing that variation. And so let me give you some quick tips, then we'll demonstrate. So it's very simple. We'll be holding hands in a circle if that feels comfortable. And everything starts with the right foot. Everything is on a count of 4. And there are 4 directions of walking. So the first one is right foot backwards and to the right in a counterclockwise circle. And then we sway with the right, always right first, right, 2, 3, 4. Then front, leading with the right foot, 2, 3, 4. And then sway, 2, 3, 4. And then forward, 2, 3, 4, raising our hands, and backward, 2, 3, 4. So it's backward, forward, inward, and backward into the circle again. And so let's demonstrate, Moira. On this next side, we have the actual steps, and we will show them. So starting with the right foot, there will be 4 beats before we begin, and we'll begin with the right foot. I'll cue us in. Right, 2, 3, 4. Backwards first, and then sway right, 2, 3, 4, and right foot, 2, 3, 4, forwards and to the right, and again sway, 2, 3, 4, and then forward, 2, 3, 4, raising our hands, and then releasing the hands and swaying like those trees. For 4, and then coming back, right foot leading, 2, 3, 4, and again sway, 2, 3, 4. Pretty simple, right? And we're going to try it first. So thank you, Moira. I'd first like to invite anyone who wants to participate in the dance but doesn't want to do it on their feet. We'll have an option for you to sit in the middle, and you can still, move your body in whatever way feels good, still call out. So please raise your hand if you'd like to be in the middle, on a chair, on a walker perhaps, and we'll get you what you need and bring you in. Yes, 1, 2. Okay? And for those of you on Zoom, whether you're here today with us live or watching the recording, you can do this wherever you are in your own room. I have done it virtually, and it is also a powerful practice. Is everyone who wants to be in the middle in the middle? Okay, thank you. All right, so in a moment, I'm going to invite all of us, all of the rest of us, to stand up and form. We might need 2 circles, and you want a good step in between the 2 circles. I'll be in the inner circle, Moira will be in the outer circle. And you want to have your arms kind of comfortably, not too extended and not too close either. So maybe one more in the inner circle. Can we have some? There we go. Okay, how's that? Let's. Okay, great. So. Well, the music will start with a few beats, and then you'll start with your right foot. I'm going to exaggerate my feet, but you don't have to. Start with the right foot, going backwards and to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then plant your right foot, sway to the right, left, and front right foot to the front. 3, 4, right foot down, sway to the right, left, and in 2, 3, 4. Release the hands and sway right, 2, 3, 4, and then back, and taking hands again, 2, 3, 4, and sway right, 2, 3, 4. How did you feel there? You're quite crowded in. We're right nose to nose with you. So we're taking very small steps in the inner circle. How did that feel? Do we want to do it again? Yeah? And I think we could use maybe one more person in the inner circle. It feels a little stretched here. Any other adjustments? And there are no mistakes, only variations. Okay. All right. So there'll be 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right foot and back to the right, 2, 3, 4. Plant your right foot, sway right, 2, 3, 4. Right foot forward, 2, 3, 4. Plant your right foot, sway right, 2, 3, 4, and right in, 2, 3, 4. Release hands, sway right, 2, 3, 4, and back with the right foot, 2, 3, 4, and sway right, 2, 3, 4.
I think we're ready to take.
Are we ready? Okay, so before we put the music on, I'm going to invite us just to take a moment to land fully, feel our feet on the ground, on that living body of earth. See if you can feel energy rising up from the earth, up through your feet, your legs, into your heart, and perhaps out of your heart for the healing of the world. And as you breathe, you can notice your hands in the hands of your neighbors. See if you can feel that connection in our circle. And you can imagine that these hands are also Igor's hands, Olga's hands in Novozibkov. And that we're also part of all those circles of dancers around the world for the last 34 years. We're dancing with that wider community of lovers of life. And this first round will be in silence, an invitation simply to feel and connect. Carlos, whenever you're ready. And right foot back. And throughout this second round, I invite you to call out the names of those places on earth you love and for which you would like protection and healing. People, places, institutions. And right. The rule of law. The oceans. The children. Dubai. And in this third round, the invitation is to call out the names of those things that bring us joy and gratitude to be alive on the planet. And right, left. Butterflies. Babies. singing. Marriage. Massages. And let's stay here for a moment just to marinate in all the gratitudes as we breathe, feeling our connection to the earth. And if you like, you can open your eyes and look around this circle. This is never coming back. This exact configuration, these exact people. And if you like, you can release hands and feeling your connection to the earth. You can bow to the earth, and if it's comfortable, if it's available, you can reach down and perhaps touch the earth, or even kneel on the earth, or even prostrate if that feels good for you. And we'll take a couple of breaths here with the earth. And coming back in your own time. And a bow to each other. And I invite you in silence back to your seats. And if you're on Zoom, I invite you to take a couple of minutes as we do what we're doing here in your own feeling of the ripples of that. Perhaps you might want to journal. And for the rest of us here, I'm going to invite you in a moment to turn to a neighbor, and we'll take just a couple of minutes, 1 minute each, to share something about, if Carlos, if you want to give us the question, something about what that experience was like for you. And the person with the longer hair can start. I will ring the bell to start us off. I'll ring a bell to switch and a bell to close and wrap up your thoughts and come back to the room. So I invite you now to turn to a neighbor, one neighbor, beside you, behind you, in front of you. If you need to move, move. If you want to take this time in quiet reflection, that's fine too. If you need a partner, raise your hand. Okay, and we can begin. Begin with the person with longer hair. And you can switch if you haven't already. And take a moment to wrap up your thought and bring yourself back to the front of the room. Thank you for listening and thank you for participating.
We are? Yes. Thank you, Natalie. That was so good. It was just really good. So as we set the dance down and our bodies too back into our seats, we do come to a time that is necessary. It's a different kind of sharing, and it's called our offering. I always try to figure out a way to finesse this, to just smooth this into the service, but here it is. It's just part of what we do. It is a sharing of ourselves, our offering, and it's part of every faith community. Volunteer efforts are essential, but rent and salaries are paid, and the programs that we have here are created by your contributions. The members here at Neighbourhood, we have different ways of contributing. In this digital world of ours, we have offerings in the basket, very analog. We've got QR codes, and people also do automatic withdrawals from the bank. So whether you're here online or in the sanctuary, you can use the link that is here on the screen to our donation page. And in all ways, I just thank you very much for your generosity. So the greeters are passing the baskets. If you choose to make your contribution that way, if you don't do it this week, just keep in mind, put your name on the envelope, and that way Hala, our office administrator, can keep track of what people are contributing, because we do issue tax receipts and people make pledges, and it just helps us to track. And the greeters, when they are done, I will ask them to put the baskets here in the newfangled podium. We have a little nook here where we can put those baskets. Again, thank you everybody for your generosity. And now I'm going to do the life of the community as the baskets are circulated. This is all the things that are happening here. Add a flower to our collaborative art project. Your flower should be as big as the palm of your hand and be made of any sturdy material. You can pin your flower to the board. What is the board? The board. Do we know? Oh my gosh, look at this. I wouldn't call it a board, but I think it's amazing. So pin your flower to that. Is that what we're doing? Yes, that's exactly what we were doing. before May 24th. You have lots of time, but don't wait. And the completed project will be unveiled at our Flower Communion service May 31st. Pathway to Membership Day is next Saturday, April the 25th, 10:30 to 3. You get your lunch. If you're interested in becoming a member at Neighbourhood, or maybe you're not sure, it's a one-day class. You have a chance to ask all your questions, learn how you might connect, and get to know other people who are at a similar point in their relationship with Neighbourhood. And you can register online. Check the Friday email announcements. Let us know if you are not on those email announcements, or you can email Rev Sally for the link. We have our AGM next Sunday, April 26th. This is like the most exciting event of the calendar all year. 12:30 p.m. But don't wait, because the registration opens at noon, and we'd like to get everybody registered so we can get into it right away. You know exactly where it's happening, where you are right now. Please go home in between. I know that you're waiting for that day, but go home. And we have a yard sale May 9th, which also is very exciting. I don't know that we've ever had a yard sale. Declutter, Earn Cash, Connect, have we not? No? Oh, long. Oh, outside? Oh my gosh. Join us for the fun. Bring all your junk. I might buy it. Join the fun. We're having a fairy lantern making workshop in honor of our beloved Reverend Pat Trudeau. The type's getting smaller and smaller, even with my glasses on, but I can read. It says May 17th and 31st here, 3 to 5 p.m. You bring your own jar, tissue, glue. You bring crafty things to make a lantern. Yes. That sounds like a lovely thing. And talk to Anna, who is right here. Great idea. For love of abstraction. Of course, I am reading these announcements. I am the least artsy person in this congregation, and there's a lot of these, so I think the universe is talking to me. Do you paint, draw, do printmaking, or make 2D fiber mixed media art that is abstract? Then apply for the upcoming group abstract show running May 31st to September 12th in the Neighbourhood Gallery. You can send 5 JPEGs to our curator, Lauren. And
You get to make art during the AGM, so that's why you should.
Okay. Send those by April 30th. We have an Earth Week retreat, Rooted in the Earth, Rising in Creativity. And so if you found what we were doing here today really intriguing and exciting, this could be a way for you to continue. Oh, one thing.
This is not at Neighbourhood. It's at Trinity St. Paul's United Church. But we put it here because it will include a 2-hour Work That Reconnects workshop. Amy Lister will be giving that workshop. So if you want more Work That Reconnects, it's another opportunity just in a few days.
Right, Saturday, April 25th. And then we have the Council of All Beings, also related to what we did today. That is August 29th, and that is at Unicamp. It is a Work That Reconnects workshop from 10 in the morning to 5:30 p.m. I imagine you can talk to Natalie about all of that. Next Sunday, we have our regular minister, Sally Fritchie, speaking on spiritual truth in science fiction. And she is a sci-fi lover, so I think she'll have some really interesting things to say about that. We have music by the Spirit Band. Kurt Thompson will be our spiritual service weaver, and Lauren will be doing Time for All Ages. And you can check the screen in the cappuccino room at the back after the service and your Friday weekly email for more announcements and information. Because believe it or not, there are actually more than you just saw. So I think we are with our closing song, Wild Rice, from Cassie.
It just wasn't on. So this song has a chorus too. Would You Stand Beside Me is sort of where it starts, so that kind of calls in, and if you feel like singing it once you've heard it, go ahead, please. I dreamed I could see the sun shining on a lake of wild rice, and in the water my reflection saying this was worth the fight. Oh, would you stand beside me? We could both stand down, walking side by side till nature comes around. A sea of angry voices, a frozen overflow. Our audience is absent with the spectators and the show, yelling over differences, ignoring what's the same. A perfect losing strategy in this unfair game. I dreamed I could see the sun shining on a lake of wild rice, and in the water my reflection saying this was worth the fight. Oh, would you stand beside me? We could both stand down, walking side by side till nature comes around. The city is unstable, built on top of water, bound by lost connections, motherless sons and daughters. Poison in the salmon runs, highways through farmers' fields. They say this isn't theft, it's just good real estate deals. I dreamed I could see the sun shining on a lake of wild rice, and in the water my reflection staying this was worth the fight. Oh, would you stand beside me? We could both stand down, walking side by side till nature comes around. Oh, would you stand beside me? We could both stand down, walking side by side till nature comes around. Wow, you are really good at singing together. I feel like people have done backup harmonies with me and they don't have trouble following. I guess when you're singing harmony, it's harder to follow those slow downs, but it was really nice to have you singing with me, especially those words. Thank you.
It's easier to sing when you really like the song. And it was a lovely song, Cassie. Thank you for bringing it to us. So we come to the end, and we're going to extinguish our chalice. So I invite David up to do that as we sing. Although our chalice has been darkened, we hold the fire within our own hearts. So maybe we can rejoin our hands, and I'm not going to ask you to come right into the center because you did such a great job before. Just as you are, as you are able, to connect once again. And I leave you with these words called Deep Time Blessing by Doug Hitt. May each of you, along with your loved ones, be safe and protected. May each of you, along with your loved ones, be happy in the moment-by-moment wonders of this planetary existence. May each of you, along with your loved ones, be unrestrained and unafraid in your expressions of grief over the suffering of Earth and her beings. Aware that acts of clear intention and love extend outward to countless future beings, may each of you, along with your loved ones, inhabit lives of meaning and purpose. With stars for ancestors, may each of you, along with your loved ones, come to know your true heritage, your freedom, your power. The service has ended. Go in peace and go in love.